Did you know that one donor can save up to 8 lives through organ donation? My next two guests are here to encourage our community members to consider organ and tissue donation. I'd like to welcome Director of Critical Care and Cardiology at Niagara Health, Elaine Young, and Intensive Care Unit Manager at the Murata Family Hospital, Francie Davidson. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. Such an important topic. Why don't we get right into it? April was Be a Donor Month, so I'll let you choose here. What can you tell us why this month is really just so important?
Well, I can definitely say that as a nurse, we all know that donation is important. About 16 years ago, I understood the importance of it because it became very personal. Someone very close to me ended up passing away while they were on the transplant list waiting for organ donation. And unfortunately, he was only 35 years old. So Christopher had been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at a very young age and had struggled through his whole life with respiratory problems. And in the fall of 2009, he got an infection that just ravaged his lungs, and they were too weak to fight that. So on Christmas Eve, after spending about 2 months in the hospital on the transplant list, he passed away the night before his 35th birthday. And at that point in time, I decided I was going to do whatever I could do to promote organ and tissue donation awareness and make sure that the community and everybody knew the importance of it. So when I joined Niagara Health in 2012 to find out that the organ and tissue donation program was under my portfolio, meant the world.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that story. And Francie, maybe you can tell us about Niagara Health has been recognized really for its efforts in organ and tissue donation. That's quite the success.
Yeah, absolutely. It is wonderful to have such a strong connection with Trillium Gift of Life, and we worked together, and we can be there to be the first ones to reach out to TGLN and let them know that there may be a donor in our ICU, and then we hand it over to them. That's when they come in and they will meet with the families. We do not, as nurses, we do not meet with the families because they are the experts, the TGLN coordinators, and we leave it to them. But we are their eyes, I guess, in the ICU when we know a patient may be a donor.
And maybe you can just build on that a little bit more. What role does the hospital play really in supporting organ and tissue donation?
Well, again, it's just making sure that the public are aware and the importance of registering to be a donor. So not only registering, and I think if there's one thing that I hope people take away from this, it's having the conversation with your family that you want to have that opportunity to be a donor. When it comes to end of life, at that time, it's so emotional, and for families to have to make that decision, it's a big ask. So if they're already aware that in the tragic circumstance that you could potentially be a donor, that you want to do this, it makes their decision easy, because they are honoring their family's wishes.
And do you have to be registered as a donor, or can your family say, no, this family member wanted this?
Absolutely. You don't have to be registered as a donor. It just makes the decision easier for your family. But that conversation is had with every patient in the ICU that potentially could be a donor.
And can one of you touch a little bit on registering? Because I'm sure people will ask questions. How do we go about doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very easy. It takes about 2 minutes. And you just do it on beadonor.ca on the website. And all you need is your health card. And you fill it in and you are registered.
So with just about a minute left, can you talk to me about, what is, the process seems so easy. We know there's a huge need. What are the numbers like in terms of people who are actually registering?
Well, if you speak to Ontarians in general, 90% of them agree with organ donation. They support organ donation. But only about a third of those people are registered donors.
Wow.
So, you know, trying to get that number up to, again, make it easier for families. Right now, actually, Port Colborne has 59% of their eligible donors have registered.
Oh, good for
That's the highest in the area.
Okay. Well, go
And-
Port
Go
Colborne.
Absolutely. And the rest of us, the rest of the communities sit anywhere between 30 to low 40%.
Okay.
So we'd love to come back next year and see everybody at 59%.
I mean,
or
I think we
greater.
have you back in a couple months and check. What is the website again? Make sure we have it up on the screen, but we know the importance. We know it only takes 2 minutes. What is it again?
Beadonor.ca.
And it really is that simple. And also the importance of having that conversation with family members.
Absolutely.
It's a difficult one, but one that needs to be had.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me in the studio today. It's a very important topic, and we will have you back sooner than a year to check in.
Excellent. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Of course.